there, Stoney Ridge Farm fans. Welcome to the farm vlog today. I've got an interesting hack I wanted to show you. We are up here at our corn garden. So I planted a garden kind of after the fact here, after we planted our regular garden. I came up here and tilled this spot up and planted it in Silver Queen corn. Now we've got two sprinkler setups here, and I'm going to show you how we ran our sprinkler setups. It's about the least expensive way we thought we could possibly do this, but I was having trouble with low water pressure in my sprinklers. So what we're going to do is take you and show you a good little hack to fix your water sprinklers if you're having low pressure issues, to allow more water flow, because these things have restrictive devices inside of them. We're going to take it apart and we'll show you. And I got these at Lowe's, but I'll post a link down below to some similar sprinklers in case you decide you want to put some in your garden. All right? So you can see this sprinkler here behind me, and it is straight up slinging some water right now. We have a well, and our well produces about 4 gallons per minute of water. So if we want to water our corn up here, we can really hit it pretty quick. I can water for about 30 minutes in the evening time or in the morning time, and it really helps our garden out a whole lot. It doesn't really cost anything. So if you see, I'm going to get you a close-up of this sprinkler versus this sprinkler. That's a bucket. That sprinkler. And what had happened was this morning I came up here and both sprinklers were like and they weren't working. And I was like, man, these things are pieces of crap. I need to go back to my other style sprinkler. But we figured out a hack. So we took it apart, took it over here to the back of the gator, and I'm going to show you exactly what to do. So let me show you. This one right here is blasting wide open. It's just straight up slinging water, and it's doing a great job. I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to turn on the one that's not doing so well. Where is that? Right there. So let's turn it on. So this is a sprinkler. It's just straight up slinging water. You see my plastic owl right there? So far so good. It's kept the crows out of the garden, so that's kind of cool. This one is straight up slinging water, and this one this morning was not doing good. Now I'm going to turn the other one on so that you can see how horrible the other one is. And these are some sort of, I don't know if they're government mandated restrictive devices that are put on these things, but we're going to remove all that restriction so we can water our garden. We don't want to halfway water the garden. We want to sling some doggone water. Now you can tell by the sound and the look that this thing is just crap. It's just doing horrible. Let me show you the other one more time real quick, and we're going to go over and we're going to disassemble this thing. Now that's the other one once I've removed the restrictive devices. Look at that thing sling water. That's what you want. That's how you want to water your garden. You don't want something just spitting water. You want it to sling some water. So folks, normally I'm all about using the right tool for the right job, but this is what I had on the gator, so this is what I'm going to use. It's not really the right tool, but it's what we're going to use. So right here we have a hose clamp on a T-post, and we basically just drove the T-post down to the spade on the T-post, and we clamped it up here, and it's nice and sturdy. Very, very simple. Much cheaper than buying that $40 apparatus that you can get at your local tractor supplier, your local farm store, or your Lowe's. That's like a tripod stand. Man, that thing's like 40 bucks versus like $6 here. So we're gonna take this thing apart. So very simply put, this thing disassembles very easily, okay? And there's a whole lot of unnecessary rigmarole running around inside this machine here, this little apparatus. So very simply, this thing just comes apart very, very easily. Just take you a pair of channel locks or an adjustable wrench or whatever, pair of pliers would probably take it apart too. There's a lot of stuff in here that really doesn't have to be in here, and something is eating my leg. So we took this nut off, and that is what mounts it up there. Now we're going to pinch a hold of right here. Let's adjust this guy. We're going to pinch a hole right here, and we're going to screw the green part off. Okay, and it comes off very, very easily. We just break it loose, take it apart by hand, and there's a restrictive device right here. This little washer restricts your water flow. We want to remove that washer, okay? Hopefully. There we go. We'll stick that in our pocket. Now we have much less restrictive flow. Let me show you the washer if I can get it back out of my pocket. You can see it just reduced it down. So now we have much less restrictive flow. Now we're not done, okay? We're going to go ahead and we'll screw that loosely back together. Very simple. Oh, while we have it apart, we have more unnecessary things. If you don't want it to go back and forth, just take these guys off. We don't use that. We don't want it going back and forth, so we'll take those off and stick them in our pocket too. This also allows for better flow. Inside here is another restrictive device. And I don't know if this stuff is like government mandated. Somebody post me a comment down there and let me know. But this is a cool, quick hack. Just lightly tighten this guy back. It doesn't have to be gorilla tight. Just lightly tighten. That's what I call really, really tight, is gorilla tight. So we will get over here, and this nozzle right on the front, we'll just loosen him very slowly. There we go. All you have to do is break it loose, and then you can unscrew this little nozzle with your finger. Inside this nozzle is another government mandated restrictive water device, and we're trying to water our garden. We're not trying to, see that little guy right there? We're trying to water the garden. We're not trying to save water. We want to get some water out on our garden. And here's the little device. It just falls right out. Right there, okay? Now we're on well water, and sometimes the well water, you can see there's a little chunk in there, a little chunk of silt, I guess is what it is, a little gravelly chunk. We don't have this water filtered up to the garden. We just sling fresh water right out of the ground. So we're gonna screw this guy back in until he's almost tight. This is a very quick hack, and I'm gonna tell you what, guys, you're gonna love the result of this. Pretty cool. We'll tighten him down pretty snugly. We'll put it back together up here. Screw him down nice and tight. Okay. It doesn't have to be super duper gorilla tight again. It just has to be tight enough to hold water. And it doesn't have to hold water that good. Now, look at how much freer this thing is, okay? So we're gonna set it up to where it just straight up kicks some water out. So I'm gonna get over here, we're gonna turn the water on, and we're gonna show you how much water this thing really kicks out now. It's gonna be blasting water. It's really cool. By the way, our corn garden is looking super duper awesome. I've gone through here and weeded with the hoe. I'm gonna say 4 times. I've spent probably 6 hours up here weeding, and this thing is getting ready to explode. As long as we keep it watered, it's doing great. Now we're about 300 feet behind the house, and basically we just ran hoses up the hill. And I know what you're thinking, man, you're running hoses uphill 300 feet, doesn't that kill your water pressure? Well, the well is 500 feet deep. It doesn't kill the water pressure pumping it out of the well, so it's certainly not going to kill the water pressure pumping it up the hill a little bit. So let's turn it on. Basically, I have one hose coming to a splitter, and the splitter goes out to each individual sprinkler. Let's crank this baby up. I'm excited. I'm going to have to move the camera back. It's going to be slinging some water. I got a little bit of adjusting to do. Let me run out here and get wet. Get through it before I get soaked. Here we go. All right, guys, let me show you, get you a close-up of the hack that we just did. It just makes this thing, it turns it from a little bitty piccolo player to a friggin' Ted Nugent dude. Wah! Look at that thing. It is straight up slinging some water now. That is awesome. So now that I've removed the restrictive device on both sprinklers, I can actually run both sprinklers at the same time without getting some sort of wimpy flow. Check it out. Here we go. So now we've taken these 2 little wimpy waterers, we've removed all the government restrictions on them, and we can actually water our garden. We just turn the water on, let it run for a half hour, and water this garden like a rock star instead of like a little baby wimp. Awesome, guys. Thanks a lot. I hope you enjoyed this little fun hack. This will make your sprinkler work better in your garden. All you gotta do is take it apart. Pretty cool. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time on Stoney Ridge Farm. Hope you enjoyed the video. Pound that like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time. All right? Woo!
Well, come on down to the Stoney Ridge